Greetings from Phoenix, Arizona. This is one of my first times in the desert out here. I did like a road trip through the Southwest, and I've been to Albuquerque once before, but never really been to Phoenix. I've driven through, but haven't stopped in. Spent the week here working, and I've enjoyed Phoenix. The weather's been thankfully mild, according to some friends that live here that I got to spend some time with. Highs have only been in like 98. I think yesterday it was like 105, but mild from what they say. I've really enjoyed my time here. Visiting some friends. It's always lovely traveling around so much when you get to end up in a city to visit some old friends that you might not have so frequently made the time to go and see. Flying back today. Finished up work yesterday, but going back to the East Coast from the West, it's harder than coming from the West, from the East to the West. Got upgraded on both my flights, so I figured, I could maybe get an earlier flight, but then I'd give that up. So head to the airport in a bit. I've been recommended this coffee shop in Mesa. I'm staying in Tempe right now. Job was in Mesa that I should go to, so depending on how quickly I can get packed up, usually I'm pretty good about my system of packing things up by now. Been on the road for 2.5 years now. I'll probably go hang into that coffee shop, then go check in at the airport. There's a Sky Club in Phoenix, apparently, so it doesn't matter if I get there too much earlier. I'm gonna get food, hang out. Not with the plebeians in the terminal. With the plebeians who just happen to have an Amex credit card. Anyways, good. Kind of wanted this video to just be a document of what life is like at this point in my life, traveling around. I'm going home this weekend, as I usually do. Next week is going to be an interesting one, but I'll share that with you as time moves on. Hello from a largely empty house in Huntsville, Alabama. Moving out of this rental here over the next coming weeks. Roommates have already pretty much all moved out. Sitting here on Sunday, journaling life's problems away. How great. Been finding time to take more care of my mental health. Going to therapy and staying off the internet too much, and doing things that I like doing, like making films. And I like making films, but sometimes the hardest thing about making films is having something to film about. So why not just make a film about your life? And I think I've curated an interesting enough life, perhaps, to make that worthwhile. Anyways, this next week I'm working down in Montgomery. on Tuesday, so I'm just going to drive down there Monday. It's like a 3-hour drive. Then head back up to Huntsville Tuesday afternoon, so that Wednesday morning I can take the one daily direct flight that Delta Connection just started, I believe operated by SkyWest, up to LaGuardia, because I got to work there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Going in the morning just because that's when the direct flight is, and I want to support it because I want Huntsville to be a more connected place. That's good for all of us. And then there are worse things than having a day off in Manhattan. I'm working Saturday, so I'll have Sunday off as well. And also, now I'll be flying to Rochester the Monday after. It'll be fun. Thanks for joining me in my empty house. See ya in New York, or maybe Montgomery. You don't need to see Montgomery. Am I gonna video Montgomery? Hey, here's a vlog of me going to Montgomery, Alabama. I don't know. Perhaps. I made it to Montgomery tonight, and I'm honestly a little pissed off, because this happens every time. Every time I'm in a place for just one night, I end up with a nice, kind of cool hotel suite in Montgomery, Alabama, of all places. Like this kind of cute autograph collection. It's the Marriott brand that buys other like pre-existing hotels, I think, and like folds them into the Marriott brand, I guess, that are failing, or just as a way to do capitalism. But they're, because of that interesting, unique, there's only so many fucking courtyards a man can stay at before going insane. So it's always nice. Look, I got a balcony. I mean, we're in Montgomery. In Montgomery, of all places. Anyways, just here for the day. I kind of wish I would have come down a bit earlier. I stayed at home all day, pretty much, because it's just a 3-hour drive from Huntsville down here. But can I tell you a story, maybe? Been going through the old journal. I know, typical. What a songwriter. What a traveling, wanderlusty person. I just did a film about God. Here's something I wrote on the 20th of January, 2024. Invocations of peace to a forgotten king, alone on his mountain, disinterested in me. Feelings are free, but peace costs everything. He's lost his rule to be free and left captive me. There I realized all his actions have always revolved around me, a selfless king, because he always was me. Even so, I feel the need to pray, to be saved, to be a small ship in a sovereign wake. All our prayers are the same. Farmers asking for rain. Prayers praying for grace. I don't know, or something like that. Greetings from Interstate 65, headed up from Montgomery in the old Miata. I've missed road trips greatly. Drove down here last night listening to some old tunes, put me in the mood of where I was when I took road trips all the time. Man, and I travel all the time. There's something about being on the road that's special to me. I've always loved cars. I hate driving around in cities. I'm full public transportation coded. Love trains and planes too, but something therapeutic about being on the open road. It's quite loud in here, but this car is my friend. I've taken her to all the corners of this objectively beautiful country physically. I'll put it that way. When I was 21, I drove it up to Maine from Alabama. Then when I was 22, I drove it from Alabama to Seattle, then down to San Diego, then back, making stops along the way. And then I was 23, drove it out to the Grand Canyon because I'd missed the Southwest. That was the last big road trip I had before I started this current job where I've been flying around everywhere. For which I've been grateful. Flying around's been a great experience, but being on the road, man, something about it. Here's an ode to my old friend, my lovely girl, 2006. Must have been my old friend. Okay, I made it to New York. I need a question resolved. I'm going to a coffee shop in Brooklyn, and I need to know which is the more performative thing to do. What is going to get me the fakest baddie out there? Is it Carl Jung's The Archetypes and the Collective Unconscious that I stole from my friend and roommate? Or something a bit more left field? I think this is probably less performative. The Middle East by Bernard Lewis. Definitely less performative, but more earnest. What do you want more? I don't know. I asked for a room change at the Delta Hotel because they put me on top floor. I'm a Marriott ambassador, by the way. But it was facing just like a brick wall the other way, 25th floor. So I'm like, can I get one of those other rooms? And they're like, it's facing the Port Authority. I'm like, yeah, but it has like 7 times as many windows. The other room just had a tiny little window. I did so kindly. I said, hey, can I get one of the other rooms? And they said, yeah, but it won't be on the top floor. And I said, that's fine, because I'd much rather have the light. And the view's still better anyways. That's me trying to be better about asking for things and not living in misery. It felt weird. The other room felt weird. I've done that only a couple times, and I've stayed in hundreds of hotels now where I've gone in and said, hey, this room makes me feel weird. Can I change? And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. Remember this. Anyways.
shoulder and chest, which I would rather not leave in when you let the drippings up.
Back here is where pretty much all color film anymore is being produced. If it's labeled Fuji, it was built here. If it's labeled Cinestill, it was made here. If it's labeled just about anything other than Harman 200, Phoenix 200, it was built there. Rochester, home of Kodak. Neat. I didn't bring my film camera. What a shame. Phone video from the hotel room in Boston. Have my camera packed up because I am leaving tonight, Thursday. Had one of those weeks that was both very easy and very hard to complain about. Hard to complain about in that I worked like 4 hours on Tuesday and then like 5 hours today. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 4 hours today. But easy to complain about because it makes you go, well, why did I fly to Rochester from New York and then Rochester to Boston for like a sum total of 8 hours of work? Anyways, I did though. Get paid the same regardless. So we're going home. Got on that last minute flight this afternoon. I ran from goddamn F12 to A8 and just missed it. I'll pull out the iPad. I think that must be like a mile here in Minneapolis. I just missed it. So I'm going to this hotel because of course there's only like 2 flights a day into Rapid City, South Dakota. And I don't really care how much it costs this hotel. I don't give a crap. We're going. Be back here, and flight leaves in 12 hours. So at least it's not like a 5 a.m. thing. Anyways, had a really comfortable flight from Detroit to Minneapolis in business class on the A350. It's kind of a funny flight. Anyways. Yeah, decent little hotel. Room out on the airport. It's a 757 right there, isn't it? Hell yeah. Fuck me. It's a 330. Not an EL. Anyways. Goddamn. $299 for the night. I'm out of shape. Fuck. Okay. So here's Minneapolis St. Paul Airport. Up here is F. And you can even see that plane parked right there is probably an A350. What we weirdly came in on from Detroit. You can map stuff out. So if I put a point there, you run down here, boom. You make the left into the mall area, boom. You run down to the end of that terminal, boom. You realize the train isn't gonna be here, little trolley for like another 3 minutes, and you figure, I can run that. But goddamn, you always forget. I've been here 3 dozen times, but you forget how long this run is, especially to get to A8, which is about here. At a point, you hit done. There you go, 1.06 miles. Carrying a bag. If you're unfit, wearing Converse, unprepared to do such a thing. I'm not doing well. Pray for me. I gotta text the guys that I'm supposed to be working with tomorrow saying, hey, I won't be there till noon. I ordered room service. Anyways, bye.
Right there, right? Is that what?
Whenever I get sent out west to the empty states, I like to find some roads in the hills. Take the rental car out in the middle of nowhere. The Black Hills in South Dakota. I skipped Mount Rushmore. This is where you should go if you're passing through South Dakota. Find somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Take the car up there. These roads, they're bumpy, but they're fine. Just probably a front-wheel drive Ford handles it. No problem. Yeah. Headed to Fayetteville, North Carolina. We have to fly to Raleigh because I didn't want to take 3 flights. Minneapolis to Raleigh, drive to Fayetteville, and then the next day fly home to Huntsville. Moved this week and I'm exhausted. The world right now is exhausting. But I can hear the babble of this creek. Helps a little bit, I guess. You know, I've been doing this for going on 3 years now. It's starting to feel like maybe need a bit of a change. Not from wandering, I don't think. I still love getting to do this with my free time. But I think perhaps towards something a bit more meaningful than building LED video walls. Perhaps. Shoot. Gotta keep your momentum going, especially when you're in a civilian car. I don't know. So here's to making the most of what we have right now while scheming up the next thing. Fun. And here's to it again. I didn't film much of Fayetteville because I wasn't thrilled to be in Fayetteville. It was fine. Last night, getting home, had a whole bunch of delays. First due to weather, then to the old CRJ 900, of which I was on like 7 of last week. Got maintenance issues, and then, yeah. Made it home though, eventually. And now, other than a quick drive to Atlanta to do some work Monday and Tuesday, I'm off on a big, fun vacation. I'm taking a friend with all these airline miles up to Sweden to see the tallest man on earth perform with a symphony orchestra next week. And from there, he has to go back home because he's got a real job. Or he doesn't really, but just doesn't have a lot of vacation. And then I'm gonna go spend some time in Turkey by myself. We have a deal at this job. We're all salary, but basically if we work a weekend, we get a day back for vacation rather than like extra money. So I've worked several weekends, so I'm taking a big 3.5 week long vacation, using up some miles, some points, and that'll be the next video, I presume. Thanks for coming along on this little journey of what a weirdly average 2-3 weeks of my life looks like. I want to remember it. Because this is kind of a weird, special thing. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, thanks for watching. I always mess that up.